I asked Chris the same question. Does anything he proposes to you, something you'd like to accept normally?
Well, he's never let me down once. He brought me 6 scripts, and I've done all of them. And he also made 2 pictures, which I saw, Insomnia and, anyway.
Memento.
Yeah, in Memento. And I loved those movies, but when he came to me, it was with Batman, which was a complete surprise to me. I was expecting something else, but when I read the script, I realised the butler wasn't the butler. He was the foster father of Batman, which is an entirely different story. And I've never ever said dinner is served in the thing. But one Christmas he sent me a gong, a butler's gong, and on it said dinner is served. He said, you've got to say it sometime.
He's got this quirky sense of humour, doesn't he?
Oh, he's wonderful, yeah.
He's great. Well, the character here as well, is full of surprises and we can't give anything away, but how would you describe him? He's a passionate scientist himself.
Well, he's an astrophysicist, and he's based on a very real man who I know very well called Kip Thorne, who brought up the theory in the first place of the black holes, and what you tried to do is I studied Kip and listened to the things he said and everything, and tried to be as intelligent as possible about, but you cannot really get to the end of them, because in the movie you will see in the office, my office, an algebra problem, which is 50 feet long, that goes right around the office, and that is a real problem written by Kip Thorne, to which he knows the answer. So, if you're an actor playing that kind of man, you learn enough to be able to get across that you know what you're talking about, but you're never going to get that far. I couldn't figure out the first line of it.
Yeah.
And it was 50 feet long.
Well, it's an interesting scientific jargon. Is it difficult to adapt to make it a cinematic language?
If you're an actor, you watch professionals, no matter what they do everything with ease. So you mustn't make the mistake as an actor, of if you're playing someone extremely clever, trying to be clever, because Kip Thorne is not a bit like that. I mean, you just talk to him, and it's very easy about everything. And he doesn't try to be clever with you or anything. And the really clever people don't. They don't have to. And so that's what I tried to bring to the screen about Kip. I only met him at the beginning of the picture. I mean, I wasn't playing him. No one said you were playing Kip Thorne. But I met him earlier on, and I grew a beard immediately to try and look like him, because he had a beard. But the algebraic problem I couldn't figure out.
Do you share that fascination that most of us have with, space travel or the unknown of space?
Well, that's the point about it, is that you've just said the word, the unknown. Is there anybody out there? If so, why haven't they found us? Because we're pretty obvious. We're making enough noise down here.
Yeah.
And enough. They could figure us out by the pollution coming through the black hole or something. And what happens is you start to think about it, which I did obviously with this role, and then it becomes so impossible that you can't go any further, because you just go, oh, there's no one out there. There can't be. They would have found us.
There's an anticipation and anxiety that comes with those kinds of stories. What's going to happen? And Chris is so secretive about his plots. How much does it become fascinating?
Well, if you think in terms of this, I was told that Kip saw the movie and then wrote another paper based on what he'd seen. A scientific paper, not something to make into a movie. And it's because in the movie we go through the black hole, which I thought was extraordinary, because I think, what are they going to make of when you get through? And then you see it and you go, oh my God. And it must have been incredible for Kip, because, he's never been through the black hole, neither has anyone else. Everybody, it's a movie, and everybody, including Kip, was taken through the black hole.
Yeah, that's quite great. And it's an emotional movie as well. I mean...
Oh, yeah. Well, look at the family and everything. And everybody's so good in it, even right down to the little girl who I think should probably get nominated for Best Supporting Actress. She was so fabulous. Amazing. She was wonderful. The people are so good to work with. You know, I'd never worked with Matthew before, but he was wonderful. Anne I'd worked with before because I did a Batman with Anne Hathaway. And then my assistant was Jessica Chastain, who is absolutely brilliant. And that last scene with me where I'm not going to tell what happened. But anyway, I did a great scene with her. So it was a very, very happy experience. And not only does Christopher use me in every film, if he can, he will use the same people over and over again. He loves to work with the same people. I mean, Anne Hathaway, for instance, she's been in 2 pictures with him, you know? So I think the next film you're going to see Matthew McConaughey playing the lead,
and yourself, hopefully.
And I'll be there. I'll be there somewhere doing something.
To our personal pleasure. How important is that for you? The company you keep in the movie, and when you don't enjoy the company you keep, how does that spoil the movie experience for you?
Oh, you mean the actors themselves? Yes. Oh, you always have a wonderful motorhome, and I have an iPad, and so you put me in the motorhome with an iPad, and I've forgotten everybody. Because I'm an iPad freak. I'm on the iPad. I used to be a know-it-all, you know, and you didn't. You know, I'm one of those guys. Everybody used to come to me in the army, say, "What's this, Mick?" I was known as Mick. "What's this, Mick? What's that, Mick? What's that?" Because I'd been to grammar school and all that sort of thing, you know, and I could read and write properly. And I grew into that. Now I do know everything. It's all on Google. It's amazing, you know.
I think it's incredible how technology has changed the way we live.
Yeah,
in a way.
It's marvelous.
And how much do you get excited about technology in films? You know, so many movies that you've made. How important is technology?
Well, it works in an extraordinary way. Suddenly, if you're an actor, we didn't used to have to learn a lot of lines because they would cut because they'd run out of film. Now you've got digital cameras. You know, so they can go on and on. They're not worried. They're not wasting any film because it costs money wasting film, you know. And like I just did a picture called Youth with Paolo Sorrentino, who did last year's Academy Award, A Great Beauty. Amazing. I just played a picture with him, and he has 4 cameras, no film, and you don't rehearse. He just says, go. We just, you know, the rehearsals, you may do something great. So actors miss film. We've got to learn all those lines now, pages of it. But Chris uses film. He uses film. Does he use film? Yes, he does.
Yeah, he loves it.
Yeah, and the stunts are real. Everything is real. No CGI, except in one scene where I had 6 million bats we had to use. They put 2 bats in and turned them into 6 million. It's amazing, isn't it? But that's the only picture, the only CGI scene I've done with him. I've seen the stunts that he does. They're all real. And that's what people don't understand. Sometimes they watch Chris's films with it, like Batman, the stunts and things. They don't understand why they like them better than other stunt films. And the reason is the stunts are real and the other stunts are CGI. And they don't quite know the difference technically. They just know the feeling. And that's what you get with a Chris Nolan film. Exactly. You also got a genius of a director directing action films. Usually in the past, directors of his quality would be directing artistic films, you know, which 8 people would go and see.
What kind of films would you go to see at the cinema with a popcorn?
Thrillers. I love thrillers. You know, I used to like Humphrey Bogart and John Huston and all those people who made those movies. I love thrillers. And I made, you know, a lot of, I made spy movies. I did, like, Get Carter, that kind of movie, the Nip Crisp File. I went and saw the predecessors of those all my life. So I was very happy doing those myself.
And finally, what is the secret of a long career in Hollywood as yourself?
I think come to terms with where you don't try and get the girl once you're 65. You know, you see these actors, you know, they dye their hair and they have a facelift and they're still trying to get the girl, you know. Don't try and do that. I remember it came home to me very, very easily. I was 65 and I got this script and I sent the script back. I said, the part's too small. And the producer sent it back. He said, you read The Lover. I didn't want you to play the lover. I wanted you to read the father. So I thought, aha. But it's a great thing because I no longer get the girl, but I get the part.
Yeah.
And so I stopped getting the girl, then I won 2 Academy Awards.
So that's the trick.
That's the trick, yeah. You either get the girl or the award. You're not going to get both.
And the award's going to stay longer. So
the award will stay with you longer, and it doesn't grow old.